वेलकम बैक एक बार फिर. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर वाचिंग संडे ब्रंच फ्रॉम ह्यूस्टन. और अब ज़ाहिर है बहुत सारी बातचीत भी हम लोग करेंगे और टाइम भी बहुत तेज़ी से चल रहा है. एक बार फिर मैं नंबर आप लोगों को दे दूँ यहाँ का. इट इज़ 855-886-6387 एक्सटेंशन 4. और ये नंबर मैंने आपको दिया है for two reasons. The first reason is that we have another giveaway, and the question is, what is the name of the host on the TVOne जो सहरी का प्रोग्राम आता है उसके जो होस्ट हैं उनका नाम क्या है? That is a simple question, and if you give the right answer, you will win yourself a skin product from Ashe Skin Cream. And call as many times, the more chances you have of winning. और उसके साथ साथ अगर आपने हमारे किसी भी गेस्ट से बात करनी है, कोई सवाल है, certainly we welcome you to call and ask questions, and any feedback you can do so. और चलते हैं कुछ और सवालों के साथ आपके लिए. सबसे पहले आपसे पूछना था कि knowing and unknowingly, how can you tell the difference about the drugs?
Oh, that is a good question. That what is the difference between knowingly having addiction or unknowingly? That's a good question. I'm sorry, I'm a bit humorous person. I'll tell you what is unknowingly addiction. हमने किसी को देखा, उससे first sight में we fell in love. There is unknowing addiction. We became addicted. Even our parents are against it. Besides that, so actually, when somebody takes tobacco, somebody said take it, and they keep doing it, not knowing that they will become addicted, and become addicted is in a way unknowing addiction. They were not warned. The person goes to a physician for some pain because they have kidney pain, back pain, cervical pain, some chronic pain, migraine headache, and the doctor prescribes some opiate, codeine, Vicodin, OxyContin, and person really becomes addicted. Person is not careful. They call the doctor, they give a 30-day supply again, 4 times a day. They keep filling the prescription without seeing the patient, without talking, and patient is not aware and becomes addicted easily. That is unknowing addiction, unknown addiction. Known addictions, when the person is told and knows this may be a problem, this may cause a problem, and even then they take drugs, then it is a known addiction. So it is a good question really. Other known addictions, you know all that.
Okay.
Marijuana, people know all that and they get involved in that.
Which one do you think, knowingly, being drug addictive and unknowingly, which one is easier to break from? कौन सा आसानी रहती है?
Known addiction is a bit difficult because person knew, but the personality has that person is rebellious and is irresponsible and gets involved into anti-social activities, so person is doing that. Unknown, the person has a good personality, they do not know, they are innocent and they got involved. So it depends upon the personality traits of the individual.
Right, and that's very important. Okay, or we're going to ask you, when it comes to different kind of entities, LLC, which one is the best one, do you think, if people want to go into it?
Well, that's actually a really tough question to answer because which entity business should be formed under? For example, if it's a corporation, limited liability company, limited partnership, general partnership, that's going to depend on the type of business, the people are involved. That's a discussion you should have with a attorney, based on the business that you're going to do, because deciding which one you want to form is not that difficult. It's just what you select on the paperwork. But each entity has different ramification when it comes to the amount of exposure you face with liability, also different tax consequences. So that's something that you discuss with your attorney based on the type of business you're doing, which entity would be the best for you.
So they can tell you which one is the best for you, because many times people don't even know what they can do, what they can't do.
And most of the time when you approach an attorney, you lay out your business plan and how you want it run. An attorney can give you guidance on which entity you should choose from, especially if if they want to limit their liability, limit the amount of taxes, things like that. That is something an attorney can give you guidance on. At the end of the day, it's going to be up to the individual or the entity how it's going to be run and how it's going to be incorporated with the state of Texas, or if it's any other state that it's going to be in.
So that is something a lot of people wonder about and think about, that what they can do, what they can't. Now, a lot of people that they go into partnerships, they go into different kind of, any kind of things they want to get themselves involved in, and they want to kind of protect themselves. Is there any way, and obviously you're the expert in this, to word it in a way where the other party doesn't get offended by बिकॉज बुरा भी लोग मान जाते हैं ना कि अरे जी ये क्यों आपने लिखवाया, ये क्यों आपने किया. Do you think there is a
That's something,
on
you know,
that?
both sides need to understand, because if I want something in an agreement to protect myself, most likely that other individual is going to want something similar. So if both parties understand that, hey, this is for our own protection, then you won't have that issue. The problem arises when one party is trying to protect themselves at the expense of the other partner or the other shareholder. That's when you run into issues. But if it's where both parties are just trying to protect their own interests and both sides are playing fair, where it's like, hey, I'm protecting myself, you can protect yourself with a similar, you know, wording or similar agreement, then there shouldn't be an issue.
And I like the way you said that, where they're fair with each other, because not just one wants more and one wants less. Okay, definitely. And then we're going to ask you, when it comes to Atrium, what is the most important thing that our viewers should consider when choosing a long-term acute care?
Care hospital, you have to, the most important factor would be the doctor who will be following your patient. Check with the hospital. If you have a prior primary care physician, then आप अपने primary care physician जो है उससे recommendation ले सकते हैं कि कौन सा physician इस hospital में अच्छा है. So you can request that physician, because in the end of the day, of course, primary things are cleanliness and convenience, कि कितना close by है वो आपके residence से. But other than that, it's all about the doctor. Because at any facility they're going to get similar treatment, but each doctor will have his own ways of treating his patient. So you should at least request a doctor, you know, who has been in the market for a while, who has been practicing his profession for a while, and who has good success rate.
All right.
So that would be the most
well,
important
I
thing.
know we talked about insurance. Now, our viewers who are watching, and you know, God forbid, and I'm going to say God forbid, you know, खुदा ना करे कभी ऐसा हो कि you need long-term acute care. Is that something they should kind of look at different insurances? What about Medicaid, Medicare?
Well, the way it works is it's basically primarily जो हमारी patient की demographics हैं, they're basically people older or above the age of 60 or 65. So when you're older than 65, most people have Medicare. If you have Medicare, then first I'll explain how Medicare works, and then you know how private insurance companies work. Medicare, if God forbid, if you need a acute care hospital, you go to the ER, you transfer into the ICU or med-surg floor in the acute care hospital. And then afterwards, Medicare, once you have been diagnosed with and your treatment has been started, Medicare would not pay for your stay at the high acuity hospital. The reason is there are so many people who are needing that bed that you're on because it's a high acuity hospital. So they want to transfer you to the next level of care. The medical industry in this country has been set up in level of cares. First is high acuity hospitals, then long-term acute care hospitals, then skilled nursing facilities, and then home health, and then so on,
Different
hospice or wherever the person needs to go after that. So Medicare would pay for the stay for long-term acute care hospital, and you wouldn't have to pay anything at all out of pocket if you have Medicare. If you have private insurance, then look for one. Private insurance work differently. Look for one that gives you the benefits for long-term acute care hospital, because a lot of times private insurance try to cut corners, and they don't want to send their patient to long-term acute care. They want to send them to skilled nursing facilities, which are by no means at the same level of care as of LTAC. So when you're shopping around for insurance, look for the right one. If you have Medicare, then that's the best scenario.
Okay. All right. Well, we're running out of time now, so time आ गया है wrap up करने की show की. और of course आपको मैं सबसे पहले thank you Dr. Shamsi for coming out and taking time out from your busy schedule. Thank you so very much for coming.
You are most welcome. That was my honor to me.
Thank you very much. और उसके बाद to you too. Thank you very much Fahim for coming out from your busy schedule, taking out time. It was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And again, thank you to you for coming out and being a part of the show. And we thank you very much.
I'm really glad to be here.
और वक्त आ गया हमारे शो से जाने का, लेकिन जाने से पहले एक बार फिर हम नंबर दे दें यहाँ का आपको. It is 855-886-6387 extension 4, और ये नंबर जो है, अगर आपने फ़ीडबैक देना है, अगर आपने भी गेस्ट बनना है इस शो पे, यू कैन कॉल दिस नंबर. एनी ओपिनियंस, एनी कमेंट्स, यू कैन सर्टनली डू दैट. और जाने से पहले आपको 2 बातें बतानी थी. सबसे पहले ये कि अगर आप ह्यूस्टन में रहते हैं, TV1 इज़ द ओनली चैनल वेयर यू विल सी अज़ान फजर के वक्त पे और मगरिब के वक्त पे अज़ान यहाँ के टाइमिंग के ऊपर. सो आप इफ्तारी भी हमारे साथ कर सकते हैं, सहरी भी हमारे साथ कर सकते हैं विद TV1. एंड सेकंड थिंग, वी डू वांट टू थैंक Faisal Kamal of Embassy Suites Energy Corridor for giving us the venue and providing us the platform to do the show from here. और अगर आपने भी कोई इवेंट प्लान आउट करना है यहाँ पे तो ज़रूर आप इन्हें कॉल करें at Embassy Suites Energy Corridor. इंशाल्लाह अगले हफ्ते मुलाकात होगी आप लोगों के साथ एक और टॉपिक, कुछ और गेस्ट के साथ और lots of prizes and giveaways. This is Lubna. Allah Hafiz.